Alright, greetings and welcome back, gentles and ladiesmen, to another exciting episode of Exo Plays Spyro the Dagron and the Poly Station. Fun fact about the skyboxes, I think they're 3D. Like with most, 3D games, like, Super Mario 64 is a good example. The backgrounds are usually 2D. Because with games that low res, you don't really need 3D skyboxes, but I don't know. I've been screwing around with this little program called Spyro World Viewer. That's how I've been getting like the renders for the borders in this playthrough. Which hopefully you guys have been enjoying that, because that's a lot of extra work. But I guess what I found in there is that apparently the skyboxes in this game are models. They are 3D. I don't know if they're just like planes with the texture on them, but I don't know. They kind of look like they're made of polygons. Like if you just kind of look at that mountain in the background, it kind of looks like a few polys stitched together. So I don't know. They do have a very unique look to them, and they look like that in all three games as well. So this is the level where the Fool mechanic, the timers and the, like obviously with Haunted Towers, or not, I keep wanting to call Dark Passage Haunted Towers. Fools are back, and they're once again doing for timing-based stuff. And we'll do this part first, because it comes kind of early in the... Come back here, you fuck. There, got him. Now we grab this guy, and then I'll reach us up over here, and... Okay, I guess I was wrong about that. There's supposed to be two fools that you flame. This guy and this guy. That's supposed to make the second platform rise up. Well, in that case, I don't know where the... Wait, what? Oh, okay. I get it. I had the right idea. It's just that for some reason I thought I would make the platform go up when it actually makes it go down so you can jump on it. Makes sense. Get the second fool here. Climb on up. Alright. There we go. There's our first dragon for the stage. Hey, it's Uniqua.
Thank you for releasing me.
Okay. It's always surreal to see them do that. It's always a surprise every time, even though I've played this game many a time. You'd think I would remember, but like I said, most of the time I just skip them anyway, so... Hey, that's the best run of that little section I've ever had. Go me. It was yay me that London Tipton always said. There I go again, referencing early 2000s children's media. I don't know, Zack and Cody was okay. I'm sure that, I grew up with it. I'm sure plenty of you guys grew up with it too. And, that's obviously assuming that you're in my generation, or within that kind of age group, rather. I'm sure most of the older gamers who remember Spyro when it came out probably did not watch Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. And I don't know, it was a part of my childhood. I have some fondness for it, much like how I have some fondness for Drake and Josh. I don't know, maybe I didn't quite get myself across. Yeah, that looks 3D to me. I don't know, it gives the backgrounds a very unique look, I must say. I guess I gotta take the long way around, which I'd have to do anyway, so it's not too bad. But that does mean another unnecessary life out the window. Let's see. Got that guy. More weird enemies. I'm not sure what their deal is. Like, some of them even have, like, iron armor, the usual steel, metallic armor. But they're like these weird little guys that have, like, only a torso. And the torso is, like, on a little grass platform. It's so strange. And they hold flowers? game's weird, man. And trust me when I say that Spyro 2 is even weirder than this. They found a way to make it even more crazy. Which in some ways is good, but I don't know, part of me just prefers the restraint of Spyro 3. A lot less innocent people get murdered in Spyro 3, if you know what I'm saying. I don't know, I guess the Rhinox that get transformed into bosses don't count. They get murdered. And, you know, transformed into horrible creatures against their will. That's just kind of morbid, but... Ah, there it is. We found the key, everyone. So this will not be one of the levels where I end up putzing around for 300 years looking for the key. Oh, I just realized that they made it look like a teapot. That's cute. Alright, come on, finish up. Alright, now we can reach back over to where we were. Like I said, structure is where Dreamweavers becomes really interesting, and how the level kind of splits into different sections, and you've got to kind of think about which one do I want to go first, that'll be faster. That's what makes, it's little details like that make Spyro 1 so fun to play. Spyro 3 and 2 and 3 I guess have that too, but not, I don't know, it's not sticking out to me as much right now.
Any advice before this battle?
Advice? A wise dragon once told me, aim high in life, but watch out for flying boxes.
Huh?
I like that. I feel like they're lampshading. They knew that the bosses were easy as shit. So this is Jacques. He might actually be the easiest boss in the game. I'm dead serious. All he does is bounce around, and you chase him. Like, all the bosses in this game are glorified chases. And I think you only have to flame him once. Like, he just keeps running away from you. And I think he will throw boxes at you like he did just there. He's already dead. That's it. That's the boss. And yeah, so Spyro's reaction to this was entirely appropriate. That was so fucking easy, man. But regardless, we're done with the stage. So now we can move on. And now that we've finished with Dreamweavers, we can move on to Gnasty's world. Yeah, that's Dreamweavers, everything up to 90%. And yeah. So we've got left is the final world, folks. And we already did our little conversation with Goofy here, so... yeah. And Gnasty's world is kind of a disappointing final hub world for the game. It's shockingly short, for one thing, but we'll let this guy explain.
Hey, didn't I already free you?
You're in Gnasty's world now, Spyro, and you are the dragon who must defeat him.
Bring him on! I'm ready!
Reach the exit in each of Gnasty's lands. Then you can challenge the Nork himself.
So, I guess I've got to eat my words. Earlier I was talking about how, why doesn't Gnasty just turn the dragons back into crystal? Well, apparently he did for some of them. But not all of them? Like, earlier he did it from just one location, like he just shot out, shot after shot, and they homed in on each dragon individually. So I don't know why he doesn't just do that again, if he apparently did think to try that again, but I don't know, whatever, it's not that important. If this were a TGX review, I'd talk about it for 10 minutes, because apparently Uka Uka, being the mastermind behind Cortex's plans in the first 2 games, is some kind of big asshole or some kind of big deal that we need to talk about for 10 minutes, but, you know, whatever. I don't care. I was fine with Uka Uka. He's cool. I thought it was a nice little twist to have Uka Uka show up and be kind of like, do his Clancy Brown all over the place. Regardless, this is Nork Cove. This is another one of my favorite songs in the game. I really like this track. It's one of the most memorable. It feels like something that could be in Spyro 2 or 3. Or even, you know, Spyro 4 as well. 'Cause that's probably the best thing in Spyro 4 is the soundtrack. I don't know. I just realized I'm gonna have to play Enter the Dragonfly in this show eventually. And it's gonna be a hot mess is what it's gonna be. Ugh. I guess if you can't wait for a playthrough, you can go see the old one I did with Eric. But that one's probably showing its age at this point. I've only gotten better and better with this commentary thing as time's gone on. I'm not really so much good with the jokey kind of stuff, so I don't even really try. Because it's, I don't know, I guess I've always found that it's worse when you try to force it. Which is why I don't really, you know, shove a lot of jokes into my reviews, especially. If I can think of something funny to put in the moment, I'll put it in, but I'm not going to try to, like, say, I need a joke at this beat every 10 minutes, you know what I'm saying? Over here, sometimes I forget about that chest, so don't you forget about it. And like Delbin was telling us, we do need to go through the exit portals in order to access Gnasty Nork. This is another guy we already rescued.
Keep up the good work, Spyro. I expect Gnasty's really starting to worry about you.
I'd be shaking in my Nork boots if I were him.
Indeed. So I should probably finally talk about Legend of Spyro. Which is, like I was saying, I have no experience with Skylanders at all. But I have played Legend of Spyro: A New Beginning. And I know that there are the two sequels, those being Eternal Night and Dawn of the Dragon, I think is what it's called. I've heard decent things about Dawn of the Dragon from my friend TGX, who's, I don't know, I guess evidently a bigger Spyro fan than me, because he's actually played all the Legends games. But it's, I don't know, I played New Beginning, and I thought it was really, really boring. Like, Eric and I tried to do a playthrough of it on Game Arix, but we could barely get through the first world because it was so dull. Like, they were doing some interesting things with the story, but beyond that, it was really dull. I don't know, man. I'm trying not to be too judgmental or anything, because I know there are people out there who really like the Legend of Spyro games, and, you know, more power to you and all that, for finding some value in them. I don't know, it's just... I like beat-em-up games too. My problem with New Beginning was not that it was different from the other Spyro games. Like, if they want to make a new Spyro game that's a reboot, has a completely different story, in what little there was of the story in New Beginning, if, you know, in terms of it being part of a trilogy, wasn't too bad, in my opinion. You know, just in terms of the tone and the atmosphere and all that, and even some of the voice performances. But, I don't know, man. I like Bayonetta. I like the Werehog for what it is. Like, you know, as its own thing. Not necessarily do I like it in the context of that game, nor do I think it should have been there, but, you know, as far as beat-em-up gameplay goes, you could do a lot worse than the Werehog, in my opinion, but I like Castlevania Lords of Shadow. I really enjoy beat-em-ups, hack-and-slashes, spectacle fighters. I find them fun, but I don't really like... I did not like The Legend of Spyro: A New Beginning because I thought it was dull. It's not fun to keep beating up on the same monkeys over and over again. There's not enough variety. Like, once I got through Dante's Freezer in the Game Arix one, I was just like, I can't play more of this. I was so... When we have, like, never given up on a playthrough, ever, on Game Arix. Usually. We even came back to Bayonetta after that didn't do well. Like, we came back and finished that business, but Eric and I have no desire to go back to finish the New Beginning playthrough. Not that it matters since Game Arix is retired anyway, but, you know. Because the game was just... did nothing for me. I was so bored. Like, there's a part right before the boss in Dante's Freezer. Hey, it's Tomas again.
Wow! I never thought I'd be rescued, especially by such a little dragon. What I mean is, I always believed in you, Spyro.
You gotta believe!
What was that? I don't remember that cutscene at all. That's so schlocky. But anyways, like, there's a part in Dante's Freezer, like, literally right before the boss, where you have to kill, like, these giant bat monsters that the monkeys ride on. And I don't know, like, I kept killing them, but nothing happened, and just kept going. And it was just so dull because the combat, there are no combos or anything in that game, so you just button mash. Like, you can unlock... There are, like, still stats, and you can unlock, like, upgrades for your moves. Technically, like, you can upgrade your fire breath and stuff, and then it gets more powerful, but in terms of, like, the actual combat, it's not a lot to it. Like, when you play Bayonetta, like, even when you play the Werehog, you can unlock a lot of cool different moves. You can pick up the enemies and throw them at people and all that. And that was fun. But the combat in New Beginning, you can't do that. All you can do is button mash. And it wasn't enough to keep me entertained for the first world. So I was not about to finish that. I have beaten the game. I've beaten the final boss, Cinder, who was voiced by Cree Summer for some reason, which is really weird. Lots of weird voice casting choices in that game. Like, David Spade plays Sparks, and that's so strange that I love it. But... oh, wow. I don't know. I didn't like New Beginning, and from what TGX has told me, Eternal Night is, like, way worse. Like, it has difficulty balancing problems, where it's like... where it's like you get to parts that are, like, excruciatingly difficult. I'm just going off what he's told me. I don't know if that's true or not. Like, there's a part where you have to, like, compete in, like, a gladiator ring or something. That's, like, apparently really... I don't know. Go watch TGX's review instead of listening to me describe TGX's review from memory. And I don't totally remember everything. But it's like, even back then, like, what little I had played of New Beginning, back when, you know, the commercials came out for Eternal Night, I was not like, oh yeah, I want to go pick that up. And speaking of Mark Hamill, who I talked way too long about in the previous episode, he plays the big bad in the Legend of Spyro series. Which is so strange, like they filter his voice that you can't even understand, or can't even recognize that it's him. But it's him! He plays the big bad. And it is kind of interesting that the big bad, you know, has, I've read articles about this at least, so I know about this. It's kind of like an inverse of Spyro in a way. That's pretty interesting. And, you know, in terms of who the character is, and where he came from, and his significance in the Legend of Spyro universe. Like, there are good ideas and, you know, things in the Legend of Spyro games, but the first game was just so boring as a beat-em-up game. Like, you could make a Spyro game that has different gameplay and is a beat-em-up. I'm fine with that. I just didn't think it was fun for what it was trying to be. And that's why I have no real desire to play the other games. So I don't know, you guys tell me, are Eternal Night and Dawn of... If I didn't really think that A New Beginning was all that interesting, would Dawn of the Dragon and Eternal Night do anything to change my mind, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't know, from what I have heard, it doesn't sound like that's the case. So, yeah. Those Norks are packing heat, and they are some of the toughest enemies in the game, quite frankly. Like, they're all decked out in Rambo outfits. This is Nork Twilight Harbor, I think is what it's called. It's one of I do like the skybox for this level. It looks great. Like just the overall aesthetic as well, but the Norks all have machine guns and grenades, and that guy has a giant knife, and he's wearing like a grenade bra. He's wearing grenades like a bra, I guess is what I'm saying. There are gems over here, don't miss them or you're gonna have to come back for them, and that would suck. Kind of weird how, like, the first few levels I played were the only ones I had issues with. Go figure. Like, these later ones I apparently remember really well. Which is good, because that means that, you know, the playthrough keeps going, and I'm not wandering around Beastmaker's hub looking for 10 gems that I miss. Or a key that I already have, rather. I don't know, this level can be kind of tricky. The enemies can be really... I don't know, this is probably the hardest the game gets. I don't know, I wouldn't even say that it's the hardest.
Thank you for releasing me.
Dark Passage was probably the hardest level in the game, honestly. But these Norks with the machine guns mean business. They will wreck your shit. Don't take them seriously, is what I'm saying. But yeah. Let's see. I don't know. This game's fun. What can I say? Well, as I'm recording this, and this is probably gonna date the video somewhat, it's not the end of the year yet, but it's getting there. It's like the period after Christmas but before New Year's. It's getting into that chunk of the year where you start thinking about like Game of the Year and all that. And yeah, I just did a podcast with the Unversed cast all about this. That should go up soon, so if you've seen that, I'm probably repeating myself just a little bit. There are two supercharged things we've got to do here. First, we gotta jump over here and break this box. Make sure you don't forget about it. And, you know, in terms of structure, Twilight Harbor and Nork Cove are both really linear levels. Just kind of a step backwards from the last world, now that I think about it. Because of how, you know, varied the structure was in Dreamweavers, but then you get this level and it's just like, you know, so super straightforward.
Be on the lookout for Nork Commandos, Spyro.
They better be on the lookout for me.
Yeah. But it's kind of a disappointment that by the time you get to the end of the game, it just kind of becomes a linear romp through really easy levels, but, you know, regardless. Join me in the next episode, which should be the finale, I think. I should be able to finish the rest of the game in about 20-some minutes. When we go defeat Gnasty Nork and see the end of the game. So until next time, I'm XEO, and I'll see you guys then.